it, okay? But just follow this for a minute. So if you go through this, looking at evidence, it will take you to that time period. Now, in case of Mahabharata war, it is 1 year. In case of Ramayana, there are many instances. Same thing with Mahabharata, but it doesn't matter much, because most of the evidence comes for the war in case of Mahabharata. In case of Ramayana, the evidence doesn't come only for the war. Evidence comes throughout Ramayana, different instances. So, with the birth of Ram all the way to the Yuddha, Ram Ravan Yuddha, that's 12,240 BC through 12,209 BC. Okay. Quickly here, what I want to show you fast is I want to show you the upper limit. So, sir, what I did now for definitely Mahabharata did not happen after 4500 BC. Here I am claiming that the Ramayana definitely did not happen before multiple dates here, and there is no contradiction. So one, for example, I am saying it definitely has a safe date. It did not happen any time before 1.5 lakh years or 150,000 years. You follow what I am saying? It did not happen any time before. So definitely it happened in last 150,000 years. You follow what I am saying? Okay. Why is that important? I picked the upper limit for a reason. Because Mahabharata people are okay with this 5,000, 7,000, 8,000, something like this. But you talk of Ramayana and it goes downhill in a minute. People bring the Yuga and the Treta Yuga and a million years and the 24th Mahayuga, 28th Mahayuga. And I typically tell them, guys, you please agree among yourselves which Yuga first. And maybe we will talk about it. Okay? So the empirical evidence is telling us definitely not before 150,000 years. Okay? Quickly, I want to give you highlights of this. Now, say this is Ramayana, Mahabharata, and somebody says, okay, that's a religious literature. We tend to think it's a religious literature. Okay? There is a religious aspect to it, dharmic aspect to it. It has everything. Mahabharata says that, right? There is everything in Mahabharata. Okay? You don't have to take it on a leap of faith. Start reading. You'll be amazed. In fact, what I'll do? Like suddenly I'm reading something for some research and I'll find a statement, something really humorous, funny and interesting. And I'll just copy paste and cut and send it to her, in her office, whatever. So one statement said, of the effect. It's a metaphorical moral story being told. Which says, once the family, has children, it says the men should try to find their own entertainment because the wives would not be interested in them. So I just copy paste. It's a humor, guys. You can laugh at this, but I just took it and sent it to her. I say, hey, Mahabharata says it. So something like that. So just not Mahabharata, take Surya Siddhanta. How many of you have heard Surya Siddhanta as a text, as a word? It's astronomy text, sort of a calendrical type of text. Some things, see if you knew these things, are not surprising. There is a theory floating around, even many pro-Indic researchers. For example, one is Kondratyevsky, okay, but there are others, like Dr. Kondratyevsky, good friend of mine. See, in science, there is another beauty of science. You can be friend, you can fight like cats and dogs, okay, and then you can go and have a nice kanjivaramiti or whatever that is, right? Yeah. Some other thing, they put a cashew at the top, whatever they call it, I forgot the name, I might be saying the wrong name, okay. So he thinks, or he claims, that not all, but some aspect of astrology, he says, okay, came from Greece to India. Okay, now I'm not astrologer, but Jyotisha is a kind of common. In India it was together. The Phala Jyotisha is the one aspect of it, but otherwise it's astronomy. So I studied this based on it, and I have not found any evidence for Greek coming to India. I am finding every evidence for Indians going to Greece, and even not going in a perfect fashion. Think of an exam. Now be honest, Sat, somebody said Satya. How many of you have copied during the exams from your friends, right? So I won't embarrass you, don't have to raise the hands, okay? When you copy, what happens is, you're just looking at this, right? My friend, Om Prakash Mantri, now he's going to watch that on the YouTube, So sometime on one exam he says, Nilesh, this time I'm not prepared well, this chemical engineering undergrad, so you have to show me. He was so good at, brilliant guy by the way, but so good at copying also. So as soon as I stopped to think, he would also stop. So I'm saying, but when you are copying, you are not paying attention to what you are copying. You are just typing that. Almost like that has happened to Greek. When they tried to copy, they haven't understood. One of the thing is, I don't have a time to go, and please, how many minutes I'm speaking now? Because I need to speed up, so I can be time for question answer.
Almost 1 hour right now.
1 hour right now? Okay, I'll speed through this so we can get into question answer. But there is that magic, and I'll answer that in a question answer. There's a magic thing about that number 3438 on the right side. That is the radius in astronomy used in an Indian astronomy consistently everywhere. Very odd number, right? The radius is like, looking from the earth and looking at all the astronomy objects. Sort of the radius assumed, like radius from here to what you see, is 3438. Somebody says, what unit? You don't need a unit. It's a 360 degree sky that you are watching, right? So that's the unit in a degrees that we are talking. The magic of that 3438 is this. I'll quickly mention that. That Greeks did not even get it. They used the number 60 and made a royal mess out of it. Lot of calculations to do, and just imagine if you don't have the Indian Hindu numerals, what a nightmare it is to do any calculations. Okay, even with Hindu numerals, it's a nightmare to do this. The beauty there is this: our naked eye resolution to look at the sky object, okay, is a 1 arc minute. So 360 degrees, 1 degree is 60 arc minute, and then you can do arc seconds and so on, 60. But so 1 arc minute is our natural resolution, naked eye resolution. If you take that radius of 3438, and those of you who know the circumference, that's my 360 degree, 2 pi r, if you do that calculation, it gives you the number approximately like 21,600. So 360 degrees converted to arc minutes is 21,600. Our natural eye resolution is 21,600. So when the calculations were done, they just had to plug a number, quickly get the number, right in the sky they know where to look. And just look with the naked eye and you can see that object. If you did it, your validation, your prediction is validated. If not, go back to calculation. Okay? 3438, it's just magical. And it was such a well known that there is no detailed explanation of in Surya Siddhanta. You are expected to know it. So it's a pocket book, like a quick guidebook. Another interesting thing, and I'll skip fast through this, the Greek model versus Indian model. Like we ask many times, immediately you talk about Indians, astronomy as a very powerful, immediately people will say, but what about the heliocentric versus geocentric? Just like Surya Siddhanta doesn't say anything clearly about the 3438, it just goes on using it. Nowhere in Surya Siddhanta it says anything about heliocentric or geocentric. But the ability to predict is so amazing. I'll show you, ability to predict, And if those of you who build models, you can see that. The Indian model is what? SPE, that stands for single pulsating epicycle. Any mathematics major here? Or physics? The pulsating epicycle. Do you know what that does? The pulsating epicycle is a very intelligent way of approximating for elliptical orbit. Also taking care of apopsis and periapsis, the sun's position from the earth and so on, or position of any other object from the earth. Okay, very, very brilliant. I mean, I can talk about this for 3 days, just this slide. Okay, so I'll skip on. Surya Siddhanta has many, many updates. Okay, the Western Indologists, when they translated, 300 years ago or so, they said it is maybe a 1500-year-old text, 1500-year-old. And there is one reference that takes to 1500 years. But there are many, many other updates, and I'll tell you which one is my work. But there is a wonderful researcher in Washington, D.C. here, close by. Sometime if you want to get him. Just yesterday night he sent me an email. The India Facts, he has another article now, okay, part 2. Dr. Anil Narayanan from Kerala, yeah. And he's a former ISRO scientist, now consultant in Washington, D.C. He has also written a book on astronomy. But this is some of his work. So that longitudes of nakshatra, if you look at Surya Siddhanta, it takes you to 580 CE. The next one is a 2-pole stars, is my work and my co-researcher Rupa Bhatti. There are references to having 2-pole stars. I won't go into the detail, but we showed with the multiple references that the only time, not one reference, 3 references, the pole star, obliquity, and apopsis and periapsis point with the seasons. The only time in last possibly 100,000 years, 200,000 years, 300,000 years, the only time that can come is 12,000 BC. That is given in Surya Siddhanta 12th chapter, Bhugol Adhyaya. No, but those are not the only updates. Anil Narayanan has shown the nakshatra latitudes, they were updated in 7500 BCE. The nakshatra latitudes, not longitudes, latitudes like this, that exist in Surya Siddhanta, that current numbers, because nobody bothered to update them, okay, were updated in 7500 BC. Updated, I said. So there was another number, but they possibly went out of whack and they said this is a time to refurbish the kitchen, something like that, okay. So that was done there. Equation of the sun, I'm going to show you on the next slide. The equation of the sun, finding the position of the sun in the sky. The accurate equation that is given in Surya Siddhanta is most accurate in 5500 BC. Does that ring a bell? Almost same time of Mahabharata war, maybe after Mahabharata war, 5300 approximately. I'll show you how accurate it is. Obliquity of the Earth's axis, there was another update around 2900 BCE, and again the first one is my work, Abhijit. Again there is an indirect reference in Surya Siddhanta. I have shown in my first book why that update happened in 14,500 BC. 8 different things has to come together as a jigsaw puzzle, and they only come together for 14,500 BC. Nothing to do with the Mahabharata year. The reference is in Mahabharata text. Okay. Quickly, look at the horizontal line 0. That is a zero error. This is the equation or the graphical output for predicting the position of the sun in the sky. Okay, this is the Indian method. So, like look at, if we use that Surya Siddhanta equation today, the error that you will see is that 2080, whatever it is saying. Okay, at some point, this is zero error. You know what those points are? The points of zero error when it comes together. Vernal equinox and fall equinox. Right? Those are the zero error. That's very obvious, But others, where are they? So the error is much. But the equation of sun in Surya Siddhanta gets better and better in predicting as we go back in the past. When you go back to the 5300, 5050, 500 BCE, it's most accurate. And do you know what is the accuracy of it? The accuracy of sun's position using Surya Siddhanta is equal to 1 arc minute. Does that something come to your mind? That's the best resolution you can have at a naked eye resolution. Just I don't need to do more than that. Actually there is, but I'll not go there. Against this, just to show you a comparison, Greek versus Indian method. Look at 2080 and those two lines. The dotted one is the Greek, the solid line is the Indian error. Okay, so in 2080, using the Greek method versus Indian method, look at the error. Even in 2080, that is the difference. Now, when did supposedly Greek did this? Around 300 BC, 400 BC, right? That is at least we hear. So therefore, we have another one around 180. Even look at the error there between Indian method versus Greek method. You follow? So the Indian equation, which is supposedly done fine-tuned in 5000 BC, is even doing a better job in 180. You follow? Okay, quickly reverse Saraswati. I will take like 15 minutes or so. Reverse Saraswati, lot of research. This is Peter Clift from Aberdeen, now in Louisiana. Quickly, I'll go fast through this. The sum of his research is what I already told you, that Yamuna separated from Chatudri in 50,000 BCE. Okay, so you say, how does the empirical evidence looks like? It looks like a mud cake. You go dig there, and take out a whole earth core, and go through that. Okay. Then another area, this is a paper from Singh, from IIT Kanpur. This is Kalibanga in Rajasthan. Okay. So when you show this, what you find here, and a couple of important points, is that grand Saraswati that I refer to. Okay. So in Kalibanga, it is like an 8 to 11 kilometer wide. Then I'll tell you when. Okay. And you may or may able to read those dates. It says 23, 24 Ka, if you can read those. That means 24,000 years before us and so on. So 22,000. After that, the river shrunk, even in Kalibanga. And in other places it shrunk even more. So the big conclusion here is that the Grand River stopped flowing around 20,000 BCE. This is just one location. You can find even more impressive evidence as you go to other places. And one more, sorry. At the bottom, this is very important again for people who are stuck into millions of years and Rugveda, Yuga and all that. Rugveda means Saraswati, guys, by the way. Saraswati is everywhere. Okay, Grand Saraswati going from mountain to sea and all that. If you go back to like, what is that number there? 152, so 150,000. Remember, I gave you from something else before. Like the nakshatra system also doesn't work. Now here, river Saraswati. If you go back beyond 150,000, there is no Saraswati. Now there may be another path, but somebody has to do the digging work and come. Okay, until then, and Sanatana Nitya Nutana. If somebody comes with the evidence, we will change. We are not stuck to this, but that is the latest and greatest evidence. Alright, I'll skip through this. Let's see. This is quickly, this is like a fast forward of a trailer. Okay, a trailer in a fast forward. This is the Dwarka evidence. Okay, so if Mahabharata war happened in 55-61 BCE, then Dwarka flooded after 36 years. That's what Mahabharata says. That comes to 55-25 BCE. If you go to YouTube and type my name, generally this video will come up. 17,000 plus years of unbroken Indian civilization or something. Do watch it. I have explained in detail. Essentially, the evidence for that 55-25 flooding destruction, direct and indirect, comes from all over the world. Okay, those people who play cricket, all the way from Barbados, okay, West Indies, to Turkey. Now they don't play cricket. Okay, to all the way west coast of India. Okay, 40, 50, 60 different studies. Yeah, so I'll just skip through this. This is from Black Sea, Turkey. Okay, and these people, this is a research of other people. They have no clue about Mahabharata. They are not working on Dwarka. Pitt and Rat, guys from Columbia, geologists, but the date matches right down to the year. Okay, this is from the west coast. Okay, quickly the last one. I'm going to go fast through this. See, Shankaracharya says the opinions, understanding the empirical reality, opinions has no value. Jnanam na purusha tantram, kintu vastu tantram. Only the empirical object can tell about itself. Okay. Now, how do we get into it? We have to accumulate a lot of vyapti jnana, contextual knowledge.